Most hát ez egy... Sziasztok! Remélem lehet hallani, meg minden. Ez egy angol játék lesz, ahogy lehet lefordítom, amennyire tudom egyértelműen, de van magyarosítás, egyébként ezzel is csinált a videót. Szóval ja, ez úgy egy játék, és ugye ennyit tudok róla mondani. Szóval most ezzel fogok játszani. Hello. Úgyhogy begin the game. Szia! Már köszöntem vissza, csak mondom. Még soha nem indítottam el, fogalmam sincs, hogy meddig fog tartani egyébként, mire betölt. De addig mi lehet hallani? Yeah.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-killing, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Szóval annyit mondtak el, hogy igazából függők lettünk, de egyszer rájött, hogy senki nem mondott semmit, neki semmi nem jött a munkájába, és egyedül lett, ilyen még sose történt egyébként. Szóval elvileg itt vagyok, és jól, és ja. Nem tudok ugrani. Szóval itt van még egy gép. Bekapcsoltam. Jó. kicsit akadozik a live, de nem baj. Jó van az úgy. Ezt is kapcsolt ki. Hova kell menni? Oda be szeretnék jutni. Jó.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Szóval most azt mondta, hogy amikor ideért 2 ajtóhoz, akkor bement a bal oldalin. Nem.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Ez nem a
well.
jó oldal
Perhaps he
volt.
wanted to stop by the employee
Ezt
lounge
tudta.
first, just to admire it.
Nem. Én akkor is itt megyek.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Tehát ide jöttünk a semmiért. És még innen fogyott a live, azt hiszem. Ja, nem.
Yes, really worth it being
Yeah, no,
here in the
megértem.
room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished,
Így van,
here you
döntek.
sit looking at these
Vagy
chairs and
ez-
some paintings.
Ez
Really worth it.
festményeket nézni megérte. Na, adja egy itat. Akkor ne.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Eskü a narrátor
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Tehát, hogy még itt volt egy csomó ideig, azt érezte, hogy a játék üzent neki egy üzenetet. De én itt fogok maradni. Jézusom, de jó lesz ezt így játszani. Na jó,
But at
kiléptünk.
last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Kiment az ajtón és visszament a tökéletes bizniszbe.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Hát én nem fogok visszamenni, de a backcontrack az egy szép geometrides pálya. Nagy piros gomb. Várja, engedj, Hoppá. Ó, anyám. Jó, ez legalább nem 2 óra.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to
Nem még
go,
messzebb akar menni.
from here it's, left.
Tehát azt mondja, hogyha vissza akar menni, akkor balra. Konkrét ezt mondtam. És a jobbra. Engedj ki! Engedj ki! Mindegy.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Szóval, hogy akkor a jobbra. Ez az ő hibája.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Én mondanám
It's clearly...
azt, hogy a jobb.
Oh dear, would you hold on
gondoltam.
for a minute, please?
Szóval...
Now, let's see. We went down, left, right. Yep,
This
okay,
one.
okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Tehát biztosan ebbe az irányba. ő megtudta. És ez most el tud ütni, vagy valami? Piros lámpa, az mindig jót jelent. Játszottam Mi a franc?
No, this isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Nem menjünk el. Nem fogod újra. Nem. Figyelj, ha újra kezdte, én... Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oké. Tehát csak simán, lehet, hogy csak simán elvesztettünk egy ilyen memóriát. Akkor most menjünk oda, ahol ő mondja.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
Mi van?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Game over volt.
Oh, did something
Teljesen új.
change? Stanley,
Vagy
did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or...
Én nem mozgattam
Hold
sehol.
on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Tehát most meg kell keresni a sztorit. Nekem. Jó, keressük meg a sztorit. Mondjuk erre. Story. Story. Sztorika. Cicit. Story. Sztorikat hogy kell?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Let's give it a shot. Szóval újraindítjuk megint.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Másik irányba. Nem hagytunk ki valamit. Hello. Hello.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Itt jön a sztori. Jó.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Aha, szóval
Okay,
hogy másik emberek...
I'm getting
ilyen
weirded
fel-
out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Újraindítja. Azt hittem, hogy ez egy ilyen vicces játék, de...
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ez eddig nem volt nyitva, de jó.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Okay, so
you know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ez nagyon fontos lesz a sztoriba, erre nagyon kell emlékezni. Jó, akkor emlékszem. Emlékezni fogok.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Szóval a sztori az így... Hát ez így... Ez úgy... Nincs. Ó, ne.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Már nem tudja ezt felfogni és újraindítja. Jó. Nem beszél.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Kezdjünk el csodálni, gondolkodni. Ezt kitaláljuk a saját sztorinkat. Ezt mondja János. Jó.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Story.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Szóval mondjak valamit. Na, János, geometrides. Ezt tedd meg. Geometrides. Amúgy állj már le a karikázásra, kösz. Lehet futni. Nem, de lehet googolni.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it.
Nem akarunk a sztorünkben vonalakat látni. Akkor megyek vissza. Szerintem nem ez a jó irány, mert János abba hagyta a beszédet. Ja, nem egy jó dolog idáig kijönni vissza. Hát ezt megérte. Megint karikázunk. Kicsit úgy csöndben van. Eltűnt a vonal. Jézus.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
A jobb oldal. Ez mi?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times?
Újra kell indítani 8-szor.
That's really how all this goes?
Hát itt a vége.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
Valami fog történni.
So, okay.
Szóval okay.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Mi üvöltözött? Nem is figyeltem, hogy mit mondott. Egy kicsit megijedtem, mert egyébként nem néztem a gépet. Nem arra figyeltem. Na mindegy. Ismét arra.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Tehát ez egy ending volt, egy ilyen meglepő ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Tehát a
left.
bal oldaliban most hiszek a narrátorunknak, Jánosnak, vagy ki volt ez. Nem tudom, nem emlékszem amúgy. És itt vagyok.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Senki nem volt.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Az office-ba akart menni. Hát, ha ott van valaki. Itt van valami érdekes is? Jó, ez engem nem érdekel. Szóval. Room closet. Oh! Mi a franc?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here,
Beléptem a
so he turned
closetbe.
around and got back on
De
track.
semmi nem volt ott. És visszament, de ez nem igaz. Inkább becsukom magam. Köszönöm.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still
Csak
be
egy
here.
üres hely. Semmilyen jelentősége annak, hogy itt maradjak.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet
Tényleg
FA.
csak álltam.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Itt vagyok a closetben.
Please offer me some explanation here.
Állok.
I'm genuinely confused.
Nem érti. Meg van lepődve.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Bejöttünk, de nem mondta semmilyen izével azt, hogy mégis bejöttünk, semmi értelme.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Te a closet endinget elérted? A closet ending a kedvencem, de ilyen sose fog
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
A munkahelyet, mert hogy ennyire hülye volt. Okay.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Ez, hogy mi
You're
történik.
dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Amikor vége, akkor menjek ki. És ha nem megyek ki, és várok, akkor mi történik? Jó. Lépek.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Várj, hogy felvegyem a sztorit. Jó. Szerintem úgy nagyjából így jó lesz. Nem. Ja, így jó. Így most... remélem. Ja, szerintem... Jó. Akkor itt vagyok. Akkor követni kell. Sajnos. Itt egy lépcső.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Akkor felmegyek. Nem, azt mondta a főni.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number.
Ez ilyen kódot, és a kód, de sajnos nem tudtam, hogy a kód az az volt, hogy 2485, azt hiszem. Ezt hittem. 2, 4, 8, 5.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
És ez miért jött fel? Mi a franc? Ez eddig is így volt. Ez eddig is se volt húzva. Nem tudom. Jó, mindegy. Menjek le, vagy menjek a sötétbe? Ó. Tehát a sötétség ez egy fal. Akkor megyek le. Szóval, ahogy mondtam, a liftek azok barátságosak, és sose rosszak. Ez a legjobb, amit tudni kell. Kicsit öltés mindig kell.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question
Évek
would
óta
not
itt
go
volt, és sose
unanswered for
történt
long.
ez. És ez nem fog megválaszolódni sokáig. Na most a vicces az, hogy nem látok semmit. Merre kell menni? Help. Help me. Itt kéne legyek? Még így kéne legyek? Rossz gombot nyomtam életem. Maximum. Segítség. Itt vagyok. Jó.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mi van? Agy kontrolláló ezért. Jó. Ez mi ez? Nagy gomb, csak szürke.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Mondjuk. Ezek dolgok, amik nem... itt van.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Hogy itt
Their true
voltunk
nature
előzőleg.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
És az. Nem látom, hogy mit ír, mondjuk, de jó. Fel.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Jó, a komment így össze-vissza vakon csinált.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Az utolsó szöveget már nem láttam. Megint fekete minden. De látok valamit. Ja, mert ez rács.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Nem figyelek, hogy mit mondasz, amúgy nehogy elhidd. És mit kell? Azt mondja, my control status offline. Ki vagyunk kapcsolva. Én már feljöttem egy helyre, és nem tudom, hol vagyok. Kapcsolód már fel a lámpát. Itt egy 1-es. Itt 2-es. Ezzel most mit csináltam? Ez egy csónkjelző. Ez mi?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to me. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These number buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Goodbye.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you play desperately for your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
Haló? Flashbanget kaptam, az biztos. Újra. Valaki hív. Hol? Oh, hello.
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Tehát be kéne menjek a izéba. A boltba. Kösz. Ez eddig is így volt. És hogy valahogy jön, hogy
When
csöndes.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hát hinni fogok neki, aztán újra csináljuk ezt az elejét.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might, coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Itt ez mi?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
Oh.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation.
Okay.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Elképzeltük magunkat.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield. And it too appeared. It was so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Nagyon-nagyon vicces.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the
Akarom
cool
kelni.
weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Tehát újra akarjuk az
My
életünket,
life is
pont úgy,
normal.
mint ahogyan volt.
I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Közben amúgy 28 fok van a szobámban.
Okay.
Jézus. Akkor ezért van ilyen meleg.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
És minden fekete lett. Mi ez a játék?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ez a sztori egy...
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Mariannának hívták.
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the
Megtalált
sidewalk.
minket
Although she would
a
soon
földön
turn to go
feküdve,
call for an ambulance,
üvöltözve.
for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy
Azt hittem,
people
hogy
look
hülyék
like.
vagyunk.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Volt ideje, de attól
And
még
then she
utált
turned and
egy
ran.
kicsit előttünk. Megfordít és elfutott. Jó van. De akkor tudjuk az igazat. Itt a sok voltunk. Jó, akkor...
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Ez nem jó, ezért... Stanley helye. 1-2-7, igen, ez Stanley helye.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Speed
Yet
run.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he... Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your
De az
time.
akármit, amit itt csinálok. Hogy most enged minket várni. Az vagy tényleg engedni fog minket várni.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Jó, felmegyek. Szóval újra csinálom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Stanley nagyon-nagyon sietett, nem is hagyott a narrátornak egy percet se, hogy ők menjen.
With some calming new age music.
Most relaxál minket egy kis nyugodt zenével.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Ja, nem. Sajnos nem. Na, akkor megyünk vissza. Csá. Hello.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ott van. Akkor megint itt vagyunk, csak fordulni kell néhányszor, azt összehűlünk, és itt leszünk. Lesz ő.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Meg volt az ereje, hogy kiderítse.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power.
Igen.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Chill.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
És Stanley kilépett.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Happy volt. Boldog volt.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
De nem tudunk várni ahhoz, hogy eltegyük a másik, elmondjuk a másik dolgozóknak, és akkor nevetni és nevetni fognak.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Még egy dolgot meg akarok nézni. És azt mennyi lesz.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Mi franc? Bezárta. Na jó.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Jó, hogy itt ilyen vége volt. Basszus. Tetszik, hogy csak ilyen lámpákkal van behelyezve. Ez mi? Fürdő. Pénz reggel, pénz este, pénz reggelre, vagy mi? Pénz reggelire, és akkor a pénz az így ropog. Miért én nem mosom vörös? Nem mindegy. Aha, hogy ilyenekbe is be lehet jönni. Akkor menjünk. Amúgy ez fura, hogy még működik. Most várunk egy kicsit. Jó. Ó, az Istenit, hogy nem mentünk sehova, ez egy átverés. Jó. És ez. jöttem.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Ja. Egy dolog van, amit láttam, de nem mondtam el egyébként, nem tudom miért.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Itt van a kijárat felirattal egy ajtó.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent
Kijárat volt
death.
leírva, de amúgy csak meg fogunk halni a végén.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Mögöttünk nem zárult be az ajtó, mindenünk
At
meg
this
volt, hogy
point, Stanley was
visszaforduljunk.
making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Addig fogunk előre menni, amíg meg nem halunk. Vagy hát addig... Ó! Betölt.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Léci, ments meg!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay. Stanley parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Oh, hol vagyok?
When every
Halló.
path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes
Itt a izé.
meaningless, making life the same.
Itt járunk végig.
Do you see now? Do you see that
layout.
Stanley was already dead
Ja,
from the
itt,
moment
innen
he
jövök
hit
ki.
start?
Ez az én office-om. És akkor itt így mindig végig megyek. Itt, és ott van az a kettőajtós hülyeség. Aha. Button sounds. Gombnak a hangjai. Jó. Komputerek. Óra. Főnöknek a izéje. Ez lehet ilyen is. Shit. Underground. Itt van a narrátor.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of all-level design. Textbook.
Egyet hallottam már a narrátort. Akkor ez egy ilyen... Bárhova végignézhetek? Ja, ez ahova kijutottunk. Szabadon engedtek. Mi zárult be? Ez meg a lift. Itt az exit. Hát ez. Játszódik a játék. Jó, itt az exit, úgyhogy kimegyek.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Nem, kikapcsoljam. Most ha bezáródik a játék, akkor szívás, mert...
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Hát nem zárult be a játék, az biztos.
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path.
Nem fogok
Stop
kilépni.
now. It'll be your only true choice.
Maradj már.
To choose it. Don't let
Nézd,
time
megindulok,
choose
és
for
ilyen
you.
jó lesz.
Don't let time.
Vagy nem. Most meghaltam. És most... Stanley. Ez működik. Csak kajak kilépjek. Most nehogy már kajak... Nem. Ezt meg lehet máshogy is oldani. Aludtam. Hát... elmentettem. Úgyhogy ide kilépek, és újra.
This is...
De betölteni kéne.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Abba fogom hagyni ezt a live-ot. Mennyi így mára teljesen elég volt. Úgyhogy köszönöm, hogy itt voltatok. Szerintem nagyon is elég ennyi a live-ra. 1 óra 16 percig jutottunk el. Szerintem ez egy